Hello, I'm the Omnituts CEO, and in this Photoshop training video, I'm going to be teaching you how to save your logos for various purposes and in various file formats. This is the last part of the Making Logos training series. In the first video, we discussed various typographic techniques to make your logo stand out. In the second video, we learned to create a very visual design to attract people who look at your logo, including various styles such as color overlays and inner glows and even gradient overlays. So first, let's go over this one. We designed this logo with the purpose of putting it on the web. So we're gonna be using these options underneath the File tab, such as Save, Save As, Save for Web, and even Export. I'm going to be going each of these step by step. Since this file is already saved, I don't have the option to save it again unless changes are made. But for now, I'm going to click Save for Web since that was my original purpose. You'll get this window right here with saying Save for Web 100%. That's how much it's zoomed. And you can use this little hand tool to move about and get a good look at what you're working on. You have different tools such as a slice tool, a zoom tool, and even an eyedropper tool to select your color to make certain adjustments for the web. You have some presets over here for the web as well, such as PNG dithering, JPEG quality, and even GIF bits and dithering. Over here you have your file format, GIF file formats, JPEGs, PNG, and Windows bitmap. JPEG is just a common file format. That's why we're going to be saving it, because it's very popular on the web, even though it was never really meant for the web. Next is GIF. GIF is an animated picture that keeps repeating itself in a series of repeating layers. PNG specializes in compressing pictures and removing unwanted background, and Windows bitmap is just another file format invented by Windows. You can change your quality to be all the way at 100%, which I recommend. You can select a matte in another layer, which we don't have right now. You can change the blur of your picture by dragging the slider. But we want a crisp picture, so we want to keep it at 0. You can choose your image quality as well, such as maximum, very high, high, medium, low. But we're going to keep it at maximum. And that's how much it'll be compressed. So you'll get a very small image. So we're going to save it as JPEG, and we're going to discuss the other file formats later. Just a quick pointer, if you change it to GIF or PNG, you're going to get this little color scheme, which you could use to change your color settings. Over here you can also change the resampling method, the percentage of the resampling method, and the image size. Once you're happy with these settings, you can also change your transparency of different filters, such as noise filters, pattern filters, and diffusion filters. Or if you don't have any special filters applied, you can just remove the transparency dither. If you want to stamp it to web elements, you can set it to 100%, but we don't want to, so we're going to set it at 0. You can change the velocity of web snapping as well. Once you're happy with all these settings, you can click Save or Done. Done will just preset these savings for later on when you want to save this project for real. Otherwise, just click Save. If I click on my desktop, you're going to see that I have 4 folders ready. But I recommend creating a new folder for each new major project. I'm going to call this Logos. Just a plain name. Doesn't have to be too complicated. And I'm going to call this Web Logo. And over here under Format, Settings, and Slices, you're going to get a few more options since it's saved for the web and it's not just a plain image. The 3 options you'll get under Format are HTML and Images, Images Only, and HTML Only. HTML Only will encode this whole image into an actual web page. So you can actually change the HTML and make so that the logo links to another web page. Images Only will save it as a plain image, and HTML and Images will save it as a web page with an image placed inside of it. You can select Images Only, but you'll see here we have a GIF file format. GIF works fine as well, even if you don't have a removed background or if you don't have a moving image. but for our purposes, we want a JPEG. So we're going to go ahead and click Save once more. Desktop, which is right here under my favorites, and I'm going to click Logos. I'm going to select Images Only, and I want my default settings since I don't want anything too special, and if I want to insert it into a web page, I'll do all the coding myself. There aren't any more slices in this composition, so I'm just going to click inside of the logos, and once again, call it Web Logo, and I'm just going to hit Save. And just like that, if I just go here, you'll see under my logos, I have a perfectly HD quality logo. You'll see that there are black stripes on top, and that's because my screen resolution isn't completely 1920 by 1080, but it's still the full HD resolution. Now I'm just going to click Cancel, and we're pretty much done with this. But first, I'm going to cover the Export tab as well. Under Export, you have datasets to files, meaning it'll transfer all the data for all the colors and paths of this project into another application. Path to Illustrator means that you can export any path that you have over here into Illustrator. You can render a video from this composition, and you can even zoomify it, which is another type of filter. For now, I'm going to experiment with Export Path to Illustrator since it's one of the most commonly used ones. I'm going to right click, and I'm going to click Rasterize Type on my Omnituts text layer. Next, I'm going to select my Magic Wand tool, which also has the shortcut W, or you could just click and drag here where you would normally have your live selection tool. You'll see it has all the normal selection modes, but I'm just going to set my sample size to point sample and the tolerance to 2. Contiguous will allow it to continue the selection even when there's border. So with my Omnituts layer selected, I'm going to just click on this T, assuming that I really like the shape of it and I want to export it to a program such as Cinema 4D. Once I have this, I'm going to right click, and I'm going to select Make Work Path. The tolerance to 2 pixels, I'm going to click OK, and just like that, I have a little mask. If I go to File, Export Paths to Illustrator, I'm going to click Work Path. You can see your work paths by clicking on this Paths tab right here, or you can go to Window and Paths. You can see barely that there's a little T path right there, so we can be assured that we're working with the right thing. So File, Export Paths to Illustrator. And now we're just going to select our work path and click OK. Now we're just going to save it in Logos again, and I'm just going to call this T. And it's going to save it as an Adobe Illustrator file. Now if you just come in here into Cinema 4D, we can click on File and Merge Objects. And if I go to my desktop, Logos, and you'll see it allows you to select this Adobe Illustrator file. And just click Open. You'll ask us to scale it. We'll scale it to 0.1 centimeters, and we're going to click the splines and click OK. You can see it's a quite small spline, but we're still getting there. I'm going to select my Scale tool, which has a shortcut of T, and I'm just going to make it a whole lot bigger. But you see that since it's just a spline, it doesn't work this way, and we have to scale it using the individual axis. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to set it to scale over here underneath my scale options. I'm going to set this to around 10, even that'll make it bigger. But we have to set to 10 on all of the axes, so it's scaled by quite a bit. Now on these positions, I'm going to set it to 0, 0, 0. You can click Tab to move through each of these menus. Now on my x-axis, I'm going to set to 100% to move it around. On my y-axis, I'm going to set to 100% as well, so that it's resting exactly on this. If these settings aren't valid for whatever shape you're using, you can experiment around and then approximate a decent value. For example, here, I would go with 60, and I'd just keep this at 0 as well. And then to make this a 3D object, you can click on this sphere in a skeleton of a box, and then click on extrude NURBS. Then drag this T into this when the downwards arrow is displayed and let go. And now, if you click on your extrude NURBS, you have your options on how much you want to extrude the NURBS of this spline. And that's basically how you use paths with applications such as Cinema 4D. Now back in Photoshop, we're pretty much done with this one. So let's move on to our logo, which was mainly focused on design. This one had a transparent background because when we made the new document, we set the background contents to transparent. Now, if you save it as a JPEG or any other file format, such as Photoshop even, it won't save with a transparent background. And that's because those file formats aren't configured to have empty spaces in them. But a PNG is, because it stitches together each individual pixel to create a nice transparent image for us. So to do this, we can go to File, Save for Web, or Save As. I'm going to click on Save As first of all, since we've already covered the Save for Web. Desktop, Logos, and under my file format, you can see I have quite a lot of options. Now these might look intimidating at first, but they're really quite simple since you most probably won't need all of them. Over here you'll see we have PNG. We also have the GIF file format around here, but we also have a portable bitmap. Portable bitmap is also quite useful, but it doesn't really give that same high quality transparent effect, so we're going to use PNG. Now you can see that around PCX downwards, we're going to have the applications, or the file formats rather, that compress your image. And these ones such as multi-picture format, large picture format, JPEGs, and Photoshop file formats, these all don't compress your image that much as these lower ones. So I recommend going with these if you're on a tight budget or tight space. So I'm going to just select the PNG, and you'll see we won't get that many options, but still. We're going to set this as transparent logo, and we're just going to click Save. Now, if you're in Photoshop CS6, you'll get this new compression option over here, but if you're using CS5 as well, you'll get this interlace option, but not the compression one. I'm going to select smallest since that'll stitch the pixels together so much that it'll be a really compressed image, but it'll still keep the high quality. But because it's doing so much work, it'll also be slower, so bear that in mind. Interlace is the same as what I was discussing right now, but that's just if you want to stitch together the pixels and compress, or just compress. I recommend having slowest and interlaced. So just click OK, and you can see it's taking some time, but not too much. So now if I just go File and Open to preview these, you can see we have our great looking files which we can use for a variety of different ways. So I hope you guys really liked this video. For more, go to our website, omnituts.com. Go to our beta website as well, beta.omnituts.com. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/omnituts. Like our Facebook page, and also join us on Twitter so you can keep up to date. So thanks for watching.